It's over. For the past 2 months, I feel like every Juventus fan has been sat watching Juve games and telling themselves, we need Fagioli on the pitch. But why? Why is he not coming on? Why is he only coming on for 5 minutes? Fagioli has played in the past 2 months a maximum of 9 minutes per game. Why? Where did it go wrong? Did he have a falling out with the manager? Fast forward to the end of the January transfer window, and Nicolò Fagioli, a Juventus player through and through, from the academy, from the next gen, has just joined Palladino's Fiorentina for a package of 20 million euros with add-ons and bonuses. But what do I make of this? What do I make of Fagioli, the player? What do I make of the treatment? And what do I make of his departure? Now, Fagioli, the player, I feel like his Juventus career has been up and down. And it really stunted his development when he was on a 1-year ban because of the whole betting scandal. But I feel like this season at Juventus, for me, whenever he's touched the pitch, he has been a breath of fresh air. Why? Because he brings something to this Juve team which I feel like a lot of players don't. They don't have it in their skill set. They don't have it in their locker. A player that can play with tempo, with intensity. A player that's comfortable in those tight areas, relatively deeper down the pitch. Now let's just look at this. When I saw the news coming out that Fagioli is leaving for Fiorentina, I told myself, I was like, okay, cool. From a financial standpoint, I completely understand it. He is a pure profit player. And for a team that's financially under some restrictions from PSR, FFP, selling an academy player where you now generate straight profits, it's appealing. Especially when it's a player that doesn't really play much. But I was just sat telling myself, Juventus are relatively short in midfield with injuries, with suspensions, players not living up to it, not being able to deliver the standards and expectations. I just told myself this season, in my opinion, he's been a better performer in a Juventus shirt than Coop Miners and Douglas Luiz. Look at this chart. This chart breaks down all three of these players' contributions this season. Now, you can clearly see when it comes to progressive passes, it's Fagioli. When it comes to progressive carries, it's Fagioli. Even as a player that's played relatively deeper than Douglas Luiz and Coop Miners this season, when you're looking at key passes and forward passes, he shares the same amount. He contributes the exact same thing that these two marquee signings have contributed this season, but more. But the thing that I really want to focus on, and to be honest with you guys, it was always the one thing that tells me, why didn't it work out for Fagioli with Motta? Motta wants to play total football. Motta wants his team to retain the ball, progress it. He wants players in those central areas that specialise in two things: progressive carries and progressive passes, in order to break the opposition, in order to break lines. Look at this. Fagioli is balanced. These are all based off his performances this season. You could see he's balanced. He can progress play with his passing. He can progress play with his ball carrying. I can't say that about Coop Miners. I can't say that about Douglas Luiz in a Juventus shirt this season. When I look at their midfielders, I only see two standout performers in a Juve shirt this season. I see Kefran Turam, who at the start of the season was poor, but I feel like he's now stepped up and he's cemented his spot and he's a consistent performer. And Locatelli. But Locatelli can't carry a ball like Fagioli. He doesn't have the physicality. He doesn't have the mobility. Locatelli is an elite ball progressor with his passing. But when it comes to carrying the ball, hurdling challenges, dribbling through players, you've got Fagioli. So why not keep Fagioli at the club from now till the end of the summer? Because he brings something different. Locatelli might be the better player. He might be the better ball progressor. But sometimes in games, you need a player that can pick up the ball in the first phase and carry it into the third phase. And when I look at Fagioli this season, I saw him come on against Lazio, and I feel like he changed the game. I saw him come on. Come on against Lazio, change the game. I saw him play against Leipzig. Amazing performance. I've seen his performances in Genoa, in Cagliari, and I was just like, this player still has something to offer. And maybe, just maybe, with a bit more hands-on coaching from Motta, maybe with a bit more understanding of Motta's philosophy and what he requires of his players, and just starting week in, week out, building that chemistry with his teammates, Juventus have got a very talented player in the core of their team. But as of now, I'm sat telling you guys, £20 million, 20 million euros with bonuses. He has left to join Palladino's Fiorentina. And do I think it's good business for Fiorentina? Yes, I really, really, really do. I think he's a talented player. I think he's a player of promise. He's a player that has a lot of growth in him. And he now joins a very exciting Fiorentina project. But my only issue with this sale is, I understand selling him from a financial standpoint, but I tell myself, whether it was January or the summer, Fagioli was going to have buyers. Why not sell him in the summer when you're now in an area where you can strengthen the team again, where the season is over? You've got 3 months to sell him to find a replacement. Why sell him in the middle of the January transfer window, knowing fully well there's another 3-4 months of football to be played, and you've only got 2 midfielders performing? Because when Douglas Luiz starts, he doesn't perform. When Coop Minor starts, he doesn't perform. Fagioli, when he plays, he has something to offer. Keep him as a rotational piece. There will be a game where Locatelli needs a rest. There will be a game where Thuram needs a rest. But their replacement this season's haven't really lived up to it. When Douglas Luiz comes in for Kefren Thuram, he doesn't perform. Coop Miners, wherever you put him, he doesn't perform. Fagioli, wherever you played him this season, he performed. So I'm thinking, in order to benefit the team, in order to benefit Motta and aid him in getting results, why not keep a player that you've trialled out this season and you've seen he brings something very different to the table in comparison to all of the other midfielders? But to cash in on him and the overall treatment of him hardly getting any minutes in the past 2 months, I always told myself, this isn't tactical, there's politics. There's politics behind the scenes as to why Fagioli is getting no minutes at Juventus, because there have been games where I've told myself, Juventus have got 60% of the ball, but they need somebody that can break the opposition by picking up the ball and charging at them and dribbling past them and getting the ball into those dangerous areas. That is Fagioli. Yet he doesn't come on. When he does come on, he comes on like the 88th minute. There's definitely politics behind it. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think it was just a matter of the Juve board made it crystal clear to Fagioli and his agent that you're not part of the future project. So why are we going to play you? Why are we even going to give you any minutes? If you're not part of the project and in January we're going to cash in on you, we would rather give those minutes out to Douglas Luiz. We would rather give these minutes out to players that are part of our future project. And I just feel like he was deemed surplus to requirements for the sheer fact that no matter how much you sell him, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 million, he is a player that generates straight profits. And Juventus at the moment, they've already generated over 120 million from next-gen players since last summer, from Dean Huijsen, from Matthias Sule. Fagioli just joins the list of academy players that have been sold, but it's a tough pill to swallow because I feel like he wasn't really given an opportunity this year. And when he was given the opportunity here and there, in my opinion, he stepped up and he lived up to it. And he brought something to this Juve team which they really lack in central areas. But I guess what's done is done. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll catch you guys on another one.